Have you ever opened your contacts, scrolled through hundreds of names, and suddenly had this really uncomfortable thought? Damn, if my life completely fell apart tonight, who would I actually call? You have got a long list of people, co workers, old classmates, people who hit your Instagram story with a fire emoji every single time. But an actual friend, a friend who would actually pick up your call after 11 p.m., that's where the list gets a lot shorter. And then you realize you don't really have people who feel like home in your life anymore. And here's what I have realized lately. In school, when we were kids, making friends was so effortless that you never even had to think about it. You would talk to someone once, the next day you are sharing lunch, and then you are besties, isn't it? And now, you can live in a city for years with the same people in the same building, work with the same people every day, hit the same gym, see the same faces on repeat, and still feel like everyone around you is basically a stranger. So, what happened? Did we all just forget how to make friends? Did adulthood just make everyone around us turn into socially awkward robots overnight? Did we all suddenly forget how to talk to people? Because I have been thinking about this a lot lately, and I don't think making friends got harder because we got worse at it. I think adulthood quietly removed the thing that made friendships happen in the first place. Here's something I realized that kind of blew my mind. As a kid, you weren't actually good at making friends. Yes, don't get pissed at me for hearing this. We love telling ourselves that we were really good at making friends as kids. Your environment did almost all the work for you. Think about this. In school, same building, same 30-ish people in a class, 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, for a year. You didn't choose them. You didn't schedule anything. You just keep seeing them over and over until one day you became best friends. It just happened to you. You saw the same people every day. You had lunch together. You complained about the same teachers. You laughed at the same stupid jokes. You suffered through the same exams. You didn't have to plan anything. Your environment just planned it for you. Friendship wasn't something you built, it was just happening. And because it happened so naturally, we grew up thinking, oh, making friends is easy. No, making friends was easy because your environment was doing all the damn work. There is a name for a piece of this, the mere exposure effect. Basically, the more you are around someone through repeated everyday contact, the more you start liking them. Not because they are secretly amazing, just because humans get comfortable with what feels familiar. And on top of that, proximity, repeated unplanned interaction, and an environment where people naturally let their guard down, and boom, you got a good friend. School had all three, so did college, the military, sports team, a tight knit job. Then adulthood shows up, and suddenly the entire system disappears. Nobody is forcing you into the same room anymore. Nobody is making you spend 6 hours a day with the same group of people. Nobody is accidentally creating moments where friendships can grow. Instead, everyone is busy. Everyone has somewhere else to be. Everyone is looking at their watch. You go to work, check out at 5 p.m. You go to the gym, everyone has headphones on. You grab groceries, you pay, you leave. Nobody lingers anymore. Nobody just hangs around. And honestly, when you think about it, where the Are we adults even supposed to make friends? Seriously. People always say, just put yourself out there. What does that even mean? Put myself where? At the supermarket and make friends with potato, onion, and tomato ketchup? We just assume friendships are supposed to happen on their own. But they don't. Not anymore. Because the situations that used to create genuine friendships almost automatically disappeared. Even when you do click with someone as an adult, there is another problem, and this one messes with our head way more than we realize. As a kid, showing up was the friendship. As an adult, showing up isn't enough anymore. Someone has to make the first move. You have to send the first text, suggest the coffee, suggest the hangout place, ask if they really want to hang out with you. Then you wait, and your brain, being an overthinker, fills the silence with garbage. Did I sound desperate? Did I come on too strong? Do they actually want to hang out with me? Or were they just being polite to me? What if they leave me on read? What if? Sound familiar? You are not the only one running that low. There is actually a thing called the liking gap. After conversations, people almost always underestimate how much the other person liked them. You genuinely think people enjoy talking to you less than they actually did. And this thought, it can actually stick around with people for months, even between people literally living in the same room. Your brain is over there going, "Eh, they probably don't like me that much," while the other person's brain is running the exact same script about you. It's like two people standing outside the same door, both waiting for the other one to open it. Nobody moves. They are just waiting for the other one to make the first move, initiate things. Because nobody wants to look needy, desperate. Nobody wants to risk getting shut down. Now, here's the part that actually changed how I think about this whole thing. Because up to now, it sounds emotional, confidence, anxiety, coincidence, whatever. But when I looked at the actual numbers, it clicks. Turns out there is a rough, fairly consistent formula for how long it takes strangers to become real friends. Not Instagram mutual friends, actual ones. Around 50 hours to go from stranger to casual friend. Around 90 hours to become an actual friend. Somewhere north of 200 hours before someone becomes a close friend. Sit with that for a second, then compare it to real life. At 19, in a dorm, sitting next to someone in class, eating together, walking home together, you could easily rack up 50 hours with someone in a few weeks without even trying. Now, fast forward to your late 20s and 30s. You meet someone cool, you grab coffee once a month. That's 45 minutes a month. At that pace, you will hit close friend in years. Maybe if life doesn't get in the way first, which it always does. It's not that the chemistry disappeared or you forget how to connect. You lost the actual currency friendship runs on: time, hours, repeated contacts. And modern life is basically engineered to starve you of it. Work remote, order groceries online, text instead of meeting up, Netflix instead of going out. Efficient as hell, and almost none of it creates the repeated shared time friendships actually need. That's also why you will meet a coworker or a neighbor and feel weirdly close to them in a few months, while some other person you have been saying we should grab coffee sometime for 3 straight years is still basically a stranger. It's not compatibility, One relationship is quietly stacking hours every week. The other is collecting 45 minutes every couple months. Friendships are built on good intentions, but they are also built on accumulated time. It's less a mystery and more a math problem, a frustrating one. But at least now you know why friendship needs selfless, unplanned hours. And modern life is terrible at that kind of selfless, unplanned time. And can we please stop pretending that asking someone to hang out is desperate? It's not, it's normal. We have somehow convinced ourselves that sending one text is this massive social risk. What if they say no? Okay, let's say they say no. People are busy, but that isn't always rejection. Sometimes it's just life. I think we would all be happier if we stopped trying to read people's mind. If you enjoy talking to someone, tell them. If you want to meet them again, ask. Simple, not easy, but simple. Because here's the truth. The worst thing that usually happens is nothing. You get left on read. They say they are busy. Life moves on. The embarrassment you spend 3 days imagining, it lasts about 30 seconds. Then everybody forgets, except you. Because your brain loves replaying the dumbest you have ever done. And there is one more thing I have realized. Maybe we have become a little obsessed with finding new friends while quietly neglecting the people who already know us. Think about the friends you already have, the ones you have been meaning to text, the ones where every conversation ends with, "Bro, we seriously need to meet," and then 6 months disappear, but you didn't meet. Those friendships don't always die because people stop caring. Sometimes they just get buried under life, work, responsibilities, distance, pure exhaustion. Maybe those friendships don't need to be replaced. Maybe those friendships just need to be revived. Sometimes one stupid message is enough. That's it. Not because you are trying to save the friendship, but because someone has to interrupt the silence. Why not let it be you? Hmm? So, here's something I want you to do if you have come this far in this video. Don't think about making 10 new friends. Don't even think about making one. Just think about one person. The first person who popped into your head while watching this. Maybe it's someone from work. Maybe it's an old college friend. Whoever it was, trust that instinct. Open your phone, send a text. Not, "We should hang out sometime." We have all said that. It means absolutely nothing. Send an actual plan. "I'm grabbing coffee this Saturday morning. Come if you are free." Make it ridiculously easy for them to say yes. Maybe nothing happens. That's also fine. But maybe 5 years from now, you will look back and realize that one stupid little text became one of the best friendships of your adult life. And wouldn't that be a crazy thing to miss because you were afraid of looking needy? I don't know. I just think life is already hard enough. Having a few people you can genuinely call your own makes it a hell of a lot easier. So maybe stop waiting for friendships to happen. Start creating the kind of life where it has a chance to. And I will see you in the next video.